Welcome back to the Makeshift podcast, number 10. Today we have a super special guest. He is the man behind the iconic Cincinnati Bengals beard, Gary Faulkner. Gary, thank you for being here. We're excited to have you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Of course. All right, so I have a few questions. Give us a little rundown. When did you become a Bengals fan?
Well, I mean, as far as I can remember back in the early 80s, I was born in 83, but in about 87, 88, I remember watching all the games, with just my uncle and my parents and, as a kid, running around in Bart Simpson t-shirts and Welcome to the Jungle sweatshirts. I got all this stuff when I was a kid. It's been it's been unreal looking back at old pictures and just seeing all the old stuff that I used to wear. But it's just like anyone else, you're a kid, but once you get old enough to go to the games on your own and, do things on your own, it grows like anything else. And then, of course, been here for the good and bad years like everyone else. And,
100%.
a lot of heartache over the years for sure. But, I'm not going to up and choose another team. I live here and, you stick with your team.
You got to. So a little bit of background. I'm a New York Giants fan. We're both from New Jersey. Zach's a Miami Dolphins fan. A little random, but both not too great of football teams the past few years. I got lucky and got 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime, which was fantastic. But besides that, it hasn't been a great ride for either of us for the majority of it. So the Bengals' last playoff win was in 1991. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, you're correct.
The quarterback was it Boomer? Was it Boomer?
I think it was Boomer. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember how old were you? And do you have any memories of that last playoff win?
I don't have vague memories of it. I just remember my parents being kind of disgruntled and my dad pissed off up until they won, but my dad ended up being kind of a Cowboys fan for a little bit. And it was just because they always told me they would get let down by the Bengals, that they just couldn't handle it, I mean, we can all relate to that, you guys can understand that. I also don't come from like a family of like diehard sports fanatics, kind of the same as I am. We're more like, as a kid, I was more into motorcycles. My dad was into motorcycles and stuff, and he was more like just watching the playoffs and Super Bowl stuff. But I kind of took over, and yeah, I
love it.
I would say that my best memories really started for like the Carson Palmer era, and Ochocinco and all that. I mean, we had a phenomenal team for a while, and for me personally, Ochocinco has always been my favorite Bengal.
Love that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, dude could suit up right now and play. I mean, let's face it, just give him McDonald's.
He keeps saying he can. He says he could go out there. He could play. Someone give him a chance. I'd love to see him out there.
Hey, I mean, why not? Tebow got chances, so
It's true.
Him and Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens has been posting his workouts recently, trying to make a little comeback.
He's still running like what's his sprint? He's still running like something super competitive.
Didn't he raced Tyreek Hill like a year ago, didn't he? And like either just marginally lost or he might have gotten him on like a further than a 40-yard dash. It was crazy.
You guys gonna go to the Pro Bowl in Vegas?
No, I've never been to a Pro Bowl.
I'm debating on it.
So this is the first year it's in Vegas, right?
Right.
Damn, that's gonna be a time.
Not a bad trip to make,
No,
for
definitely
Pro Bowl.
not a bad
Hit a few
trip.
casinos maybe while you're out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be fun. All right, so obviously the picture of you from last week, the one with the beer cans. Here's my question: what kind of beer was it? Was it Foster's?
I got them right here.
I'm very curious.
I love this.
The original Who Day cans.
Wow, that is awesome.
That's incredible.
So these are from the 80s. These ones specifically are from 89. So the golden question everyone wants to know, how do you carry around 6 full beers in your beard? Well, the answer is it's deceiving because they're empty.
Wow.
They won't let me into the stadium with beer in them.
That's true.
Yeah, it looks like it's never been opened, but it's got a little pinhole at the bottom. So it was a gamble for me to do it at the Nashville game because I was worried they weren't going to actually let me in to the stadium. You guys noticed the controversy with them changing the ticket rules and trying to limit Bengals fans. They were making things hard for Cincinnati fans to get into the stadium. I actually couldn't get in right away with my ticket because seemed like they had the cell phone jammers on to where no one could get service conveniently.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
And you pay top dollar to sit front row, which, for playoffs, I'm going to pay whatever. I'll sacrifice my cat while my wife's at work. So it was a little worrisome at first, but I did find actually some of the staff there was super nice. And they carried around iPads, and the only people I noticed it was happening to was Cincinnati fans. And they had to reprogram and type in your whole ticket and find it and then text it to you. But it was definitely worrisome for 15, 20 minutes trying to get in. On top of that,
sounds a little coincidental.
I'm just kind of, I'm like, look, I got 6 beers in my beard. Asking me for a photo. I just want to get in and get to my seat. It took an hour for me to get to my seat once I actually got to the gate. So
yeah, I believe it.
I have a question. When the face paint and everything, does you have somebody that does that for you, or?
So a lot of the times I can paint my beard myself if I want. Sometimes I can do some of the myself. We'll just be honest. The really shitty ones are the ones I do.
That's fair.
And the really good ones are usually, if my wife's not working, she'll help me. She always styles my beard for me and helps me do the beard stuff. But I have a couple makeup artists that are actual professional artists, and they love to work with me.
Yeah.
They get to do something kind of different. So I'll go all out for big games. I'll bring in the makeup artists and, we'll get creative. So
love that. Give the artist the power.
Yeah, well, I got to use this creative canvas for something, If I'm called up, I'll use it for something. So
for sure. It's a blank canvas. So right. I actually saw. I looked up a little bit about your background. You don't just paint your beard and face just for Cincinnati Bengals games. I saw for the St. Patty's Day parade, for 4th of July, for Reds games, for everything. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm kind of one of the pioneers of all the stuff you see on the internet, with the creative facial hair things, the beard ornaments and Christmas tree stuff and putting that glitter in your beard. I'm the guy that started all that stuff. So I've been at this, over a decade. I'm going on year 13.
Incredible.
And yeah, it honestly, it's just always been fun to just come up with an artistic outlet to do it. And I can't lie, I've got to do a lot of really, really cool things because of it. So
I believe it. That's awesome. So you were front row in Tennessee.
Oh,
how was that atmosphere when what's his name? McPherson? Is that the kicker's name, right?
Let's not start there. Let's start with, how about the very first play of the game? Jesse Bates comes up with a freaking pick. You want to talk about hearing a stadium turning up to just completely silent in a matter of 5 seconds was amazing. And I'm just screaming at the top of my lungs with nothing but Nashville Titans fans, just totally just pissed right off the first play.
You're the lone wolf in the entire stadium.
Actually, yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. So a lot of people don't realize this, right? But there was a lot of Bengals fans at this game. I've actually never seen a road game traveled as heavy for Bengals fans as what I witnessed in Nashville. There was half and half in that stadium. But when you
how far is that from Cincinnati? It's not too far,
only
right?
4.5 hours maybe. So One, it's Nashville. You can't go to Nashville and not have fun. If you've never been, I definitely recommend it. It's, we call it Nash Vegas. The camera crews, when I was sitting front row, the NFL's camera crews were going around, and I noticed one thing as soon as I sat down on my seat. They were skipping all the Bengals fans and only filming Titans fans. Literally ignored every Bengals sign, like kids, everyone. And I finally asked the guy when he walked by, because he came up and asked to take a picture with his cell phone of my beer cans. And I said, hey, answer a question for me. I said, are you guys instructed not to show us Bengals fans for this game? And he said, he put his masks down. He looked at his buddy and he said, we're told to minimally film you Bengals fans for this game. And I said, wow, really? And he goes, yeah, but we're going to film you. But when you watch that game, I went back and watched it. They did a really good job of making it seem like there were no Bengals fans at the stadium. And then if you actually watch the Kansas City Buffalo game from the other night, they kind of did the same thing to them, Yeah.
I was going to say, it's not a great look for, the home team to be outnumbered or even have close to it. So they got to represent on TV. And I mean, watching the game, I didn't feel like there were a lot of Bengals fans there, but apparently you're saying they weren't. So
I bet you there was at least close to 20,000 Bengals fans in that stadium.
Wow.
At least. So
damn.
The Bengals fans filled the whole upper deck.
Damn.
So yeah, I'm very proud of my city for turning out for that game. I've never, like I said, I've never witnessed Bengals fans travel like that for an away game. So that was very nice. I mean, I'll just give you an idea of the different Bengals game that I went to. I went to one in Pittsburgh. The last time Dalton won in Pittsburgh, I think we came back in like the last 3 minutes and won. It was like I felt like me and 30 other Bengals fans in the whole stadium. And you want to talk about just a walk of shame for the Steelers fans, which for me was just the most iconic, best feeling ever. You could hear a pin drop walking out of the stadium. They just looked down and didn't say a word. I just quietly snuck out.
There's like a certain beauty to being outnumbered as a sports fan. Like I went to University of Maryland. I went to Ohio State football game. There's like 100,000 people in that stadium. I was maybe one of like 10 Terps out there representing. We got crushed. We lost, but always fun being outnumbered and cheering against the home team.
Oh yeah.
You got to love it. All right. So let's talk Joe Burrow. Did you expect Joe Burrow to be the guy in Cincinnati? Or were you just like, it's another guy, it's a guy filling in for Andy Dalton, we'll see how it goes?
Yeah. So the way he carries himself, I mean, you don't see somebody quite as cool and calm as him too many places, right? And I think we all kind of had that excitement when in the first year before he got hurt, like, man, this dude is the real deal, And then, of course, he gets hurt. And now it's like, oh, we're back to like the feeling of Carson Palmer, you know what I mean? And I don't think anyone could have really predicted he was going to bounce back like this and come out here just guns blazing and just absolutely just killing it. I mean, dude is a machine. And
it really is.
It's just been incredible to watch. Now, obviously, I would hope that they're going to make some adjustments on the offensive line for this next game. Obviously, he can't keep getting sacked like the last game and expect to be playing healthy in 2 to 3 seasons. It's just not going to happen. Now, obviously, we're in the playoffs. Everyone's hungry. People are going to be going much harder than they normally would. Thinking about this, we're one game away from getting into the Super Bowl. That's insane. And, nobody picks the Bengals to win. They always pick the Bengals to choke. So, we're used to being the underdog. And it's just refreshing having that guy at the helm, just, doing what he's doing. He's obviously built for this, the dude's a winner. I haven't got to shake hands with him or, I haven't even got to meet him personally and take a picture, none of that yet. But we were very close to each other in Miami last year. I think it was last year for the Barstool Sports party down there. So we were about 30, 40 feet away from each other doing our own thing, but he carries himself very cool and calm. So
yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that you're gonna meet him and shake his hand one day, because I actually saw a picture of you with Andy Dalton too.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it was a few years back or something, but I have no doubt in my mind that you're definitely gonna meet him.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's certain players with like a swagger, and Joe Burrow just seems to have it. It's the cigars back at LSU, and even with the Bengals now, he just carries himself like you're saying with the swagger. Yeah, it's just every little thing he does is cool, and like that's what you want. That's not Eli Manning like Brian had for years.
I mean, I'll say this: I feel like this team is also doing so well because I think they're just having fun. I think they're just, I mean, they're all still relatively pretty young. And, to be honest with you, I do get booked to do a lot of different events in and around the city. So I do hang out and mingle with I hang out with Joe Mixon at some of these events, and we talk all the time, like just Instagram, whatever. But like the one thing I see now with this team is everyone that's on this team seems to really be focused on football. Like you don't see any of these guys out partying. You don't see them out at the clubs almost ever. Not that Cincinnati has a lot of clubs as it is, but if you're Joe Burrow, you can't say that or you'll get crucified for saying there's not a lot to do in Cincinnati. But they're very into the game, and I just think that they really all care about the goal right now. So it's been pretty awesome to see that.
I believe it. I mean, that's what you need to get to an AFC Championship game. All right, I got a little game for you, Gary.
Okay.
We're gonna call it the Joe Burrow game. I'm gonna give you Joe Burrow, and I'm gonna list off like maybe the top 10 quarterbacks. I'm gonna see where you rank him, who you would rather have on your team instead of Joe Burrow, or would you rather have Joe Burrow? All right, so we got Joe Burrow or Baker Mayfield.
Joe Burrow.
Starting it off easy. Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson?
Joe Burrow.
I agree with that. Joe Burrow or Kirk Cousins?
I'm still going with Joe Burrow.
Burrow or Herbert?
I'm definitely going to go Joe Burrow.
That one's a close one. That's got me on the teetering a little bit.
He's good. He's very good.
That's probably the closest one yet. Joe Burrow or Matt Stafford?
I definitely got to go with Joe Burrow still.
All right, now we're getting a little bit tougher here. Joe Burrow or Kyler Murray?
That little guy?
Yeah, I'd go with Burrow there too.
Yeah.
I'm going Burrow too. Burrow or Dak?
Oh, definitely. I definitely like Dak. Don't get me wrong, but he's been in the NFL how many seasons now? 5 or 6, and no playoff wins. So we're gonna go Burrow.
I agree. Burrow or Josh Allen?
I'm still gonna go Joe Burrow, but I did want to play them though. I did want to play them. I feel like
that would have been an awesome game.
I felt so bad for them with the overtime rule. They played their guts out. I will say this: it makes you appreciate the decision making that Coach Taylor from the Bengals used when he ran out the clock on them, and then people understand why. Nobody thought they were going to be able to tie up the game with 13 seconds left. That's just unheard of,
It is. It's 100% unheard of. All right, I got 3 more for you here. Joe Burrow or Russell Wilson?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow or Aaron Rodgers?
Now that is, for me, that is a super close one. Aaron Rodgers has given a lot of great years. He's very, very good. I've actually hung out with him quite a few times at the Kentucky Derby.
That's pretty awesome.
But I'm going to go with Joe.
Light flex. He's going Joe Burrow. And last one on the list, you know who it is, Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes?
Definitely Joe Burrow.
So
wow.
you're 100% content with Joe Burrow being your quarterback.
Absolutely. After what I've seen, 100%. My biggest question is, where's Aaron Rodgers going to end up now out of all those questions? Where do you guys think Aaron Rodgers ends up?
I want to see him down in Miami. but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think that it's plausible to say that he'll end up in Pittsburgh.
I've seen a lot of Pittsburgh people sharing pictures of him in a black and yellow uniform. And I just laugh. I'm like, man, that's got to feel like he's getting somebody's sloppy seconds. You know what I mean? It has to. That's what just makes me think. As soon as I see it, I'm like, man,
I agree.
It would be weird.
It would be super weird, but I think that would be a scary team with Rodgers and those receivers and that defense. It would be a scary team.
I saw one thing that said, and I don't think he's retiring, but if Brady retired, Aaron Rodgers to the Bucs would make a lot of sense. The talent's there, the defense, they got the weapons. But at the same time, it's like, is Aaron Rodgers going to try? If he doesn't win with the Bucs, then he's going to get, the same crap that Tom Brady's getting in this postseason of Blues. I don't know. I just don't see it being a great fit.
I can't picture Aaron Rodgers in a warm city.
Yeah, it just doesn't. Nothing feels right. Any team doesn't really feel right. It's like when Favre played for the Jets or the Vikings. Nothing. It's going to look weird, different. Maybe we'll get used to it, like we did with Brady and the Bucs. But even that, to me, being a Dolphins fan for years,
I hate to say it, but you'd almost rather see him just retire. You know what I mean, and leave on that note.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, but you also have to look at it like this. These guys are very competitive, and once football's over for them, I mean, where they got to look, I mean, yeah, being with your family and doing that stuff is important, but taking the competitive game away or walking away from it, I mean, everything's over after that as far as the excitement, for the sports part of your life, which, it's got to be a big factor in, how they weigh out what they want to do, for sure.
Definitely. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, the only thing he's got for him is jeopardy if he leaves the game of football.
Yeah, not like he can get on the next episode of Game of Thrones because they killed him on the episode.
Yeah.
You remember that? Did you see it?
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the beard. Who do you think has the best beard in football? Now let's. I'm gonna say current. Yeah, let's go with current.
Current best beard. The Bengals have a Perrine who grows out a pretty nice beard. That I know, but I think he trimmed it and shaved most of it off.
A couple guys come to my mind when I think of that are one, Fitzpatrick.
Oh yeah, I did see him in the crowd.
Two,
I see him with his shirt off, twirling his shirt. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was at that Bills game. There's Fitzpatrick. I mean, there's Zeke, there's Leonard Fournette, and then there's that Ertz on the Eagles, the center. I forget his first name, but Zach Ertz, his brother. He's got a nice beard too.
Yeah, to be honest, before them, Brett Kiesel from the Steelers, he probably had the best beard in the NFL for a long time. He used to message me back and forth when he still played, because I was friends with do you guys remember their starting center, Justin Hartwig, when he played for the Steelers? Do you remember him?
I know the name. I don't.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I met him so I compete in these things around the country, and sometimes they're in other parts of the world, called the World Championships of Facial Hair. And Justin Hartwig from the Steelers came to one of these events, and we became friends there. And obviously he played for the Steelers, but knew I was a diehard Bengals fan. So, I lost a bet to him once. I had to do a yellow and black beard, actually.
Oh, no, that probably killed you inside.
Yeah, but honestly, I'm a man of my word. If I make a bet, you have to do it. So
this is fair.
This is why I stopped making bets that I want to honor.
That's a good idea. All right, I got one last question for you because I don't want to hold you too long. What's the prediction for this weekend against the Chiefs? I'm assuming you're going to Arrowhead.
To be honest with you, I got to go to the last two playoff games. I said, if I go to one playoff game and we win, I'll be super content and happy that I got to be there for it. Then I ended up having the opportunity to go to the second one in Nashville, which ended up being just getting higher and higher euphoric feeling. It was amazing. I'm actually not able to go to this next game.
Oh, no. Don't tell. I hope you don't jinx it. I hope you're not the lucky charm then having to be there.
No, I don't think so, because if it was up to me, I would have made sure that the offensive line came last time. I am going to go to the Super Bowl though.
When they win.
Yeah. After they win this weekend, I'm making plans for LA.
So the spread is -7 Chiefs. I think that's a lot of points. I'm going to hammer the Cincinnati Bengals if I was betting on this game. Do you think it's going to be a close game, I'm assuming?
I think it's either going to be super close or it's going to be a blowout, but I really think that Chase and Burrow are going to turn it up even more than last time. I mean, what Chase get 266 yards last time?
He's an animal.
I mean, that's insane. And what can they do to change that from the last game?
Doesn't hurt that Tyrann Mathieu banged up too a little bit. That's secondary.
Yeah, and they lost today, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Had that extra day, which, you know, people say, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And I guess it necessarily doesn't always factor in, but it could. So all I know is I like to beat these teams when everyone's at their healthiest, because then when you do beat them, people can't say, oh, well, our guys were hurt. So, you know, I mean.
Yeah, no excuses.
Well, I mean, look at Derrick Henry, you know. Everyone's like, King Henry, he's back. He's going to destroy the Bengals. I mean, he ended up getting like 62, 66 yards or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope the Bengals win. I'm on the bandwagon right now. Zach, I think that's all I got for you. Zach, you got anything else?
I just want to comment the beard one. I had a good one that came in my head, and he's technically current now, even though he came out of retirement. Eric Weddle.
Oh yeah,
great beard, very solid.
Yeah,
that was pretty much it. And how long have you been growing out the beard for? That's my only other question.
Be 13 years in March.
That is wow. I usually go November, and then I go deep into December, like no shave November, and it doesn't get anywhere near the length, but I usually feel pretty as a fellow beards person.
I get a lot of people that get real into growing it out for like a few months after November, you know, and I used to be one of those guys that was like clean shaved for work. I used to work at a doctor's office and worked in like a sports orthopedic clinic. That's actually where the beard started. I started growing the beard there for a bet with somebody I worked with. So that's how I all good things start with a bet. That's how I got here.
I love that.
My prediction will be a high scoring game though. I think that the Bengals Chiefs game is going to come down to a similar situation of who's kind of got possession of the ball at the end of the game. And I don't see them letting it go to overtime if they can. So
I love it. I'm here for it. I'm excited. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow for a big showing. Yep.
Yeah. Well, touch base and let's see what happens. You guys, anytime you need me, let me know. Happy to join.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for coming on and appreciate it.
Awesome, guys. Good luck.
Talk to you later.